Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we're going to take a look at the Shoei GT-Air Decade graphic available at RevZilla.com. Now, the Decade is an appropriate name for this graphic because it looks like it's at least a decade old. You have one color available with this graphic, and it's a retro race-inspired lid that we're seeing on the table with the GT-Air. Now, if you're not familiar with the GT-Air, this is going to be an AIM Plus composite shell from Shoei. 3 different shell sizes, 4 different EPS liners. We threw this on the scale, 3 pounds, 11 ounces in a medium, and this is DOT only. So this is not going to carry that Snell safety rating, and that's because there's going to be an internal sun visor in this helmet. Intermediate oval head shape, longer front to back, narrow on the side of the head. And if you're not familiar with the GT-Air, make sure to check out our detailed breakdown video where we get into the nitty-gritty of this helmet. We rip the insides out and we show you everything that's going on with this particular lid. Now, the Decade graphic that is on the table in front of me, this is the helmet that Freddie Spencer would have worn if he wasn't too busy wearing Arai helmets. This looks very much like a Freddie Spencer graphic in my mind. What you have, symmetry coming into play, very simple race replica graphic. You've got some line art working its way down across the bottom. And the one thing I want to point out, it's a glossy helmet with no metal flake except for in the Shoei logo itself. So it's going to be very hard to see on camera, but if you're looking at the Shoei logo from 5 or 10 feet away, it looks like it just matches the gloss white that you're seeing on the base of the helmet. But when you get up close, it's actually a very light silver done in a metallic font. As we work around the side, again, that symmetry is going to come through, so regardless of which side we spin around, it's going to be exactly the same. You've got the Shoei logo coming up the back, and then it finishes off very nicely. So if you're a rider that has an old vintage 80s or early 90s Honda sitting in the garage, this is probably going to be a graphic that's going to appeal to your sense of vintage aesthetic. Now, there's a lot of riders out there utilizing GT-Air helmets, and if you want more information about what those folks have to say, click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which will allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there putting a GT-Air through its paces. If you have more questions for one of our gear geeks as to which helmet is right for you, give them a shout anytime, 877-792-9455, or simply shoot us over an email, cs@revzilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this look at the GT-Air Decade graphic. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.